Hey, what's up, guys? Oh, sorry, lads, I had to. That hit was free.
No, get the camera!
Yeah, I don't really know what that was, to be honest. There we are then.
But what I do know is I've crafted the best ever team we could make this week. It's the GW29 free hit draft. Today, gentlemen and gentle ladies, I'm going to use my big brain energy right here and create the best free hit team I could possibly think of, which I reckon can actually get all of the points. Where we're going to chinwag with differentials, safety picks, free hit strategies, and finally, your one and only Bacon Boy's top tips, along with everything we need to know to craft the best ever free hit team this week. But before we get into that, let's first talk about the sponsor for today, OneFootball. OneFootball is the all-in-one football app that every football fan will enjoy, where it has a ton of amazing great features which I use all of the time. Some of these include keeping me up to date with all the latest football news from around the world, no, literally everywhere, but more importantly, here in the Premier League, where I actually use this to help me with FPL to scout the best players ever, where you can check out all of the player stats to see how they've been doing, filter by different competitions, and also check out the best performing teams right now to see who you want to target and to see who you want to stay away from. Everything you need as an FPL manager, but also get all of that football knowledge. So if you like what you see, you can click on the link at the top of the description to download for free today. That's OneFootball, free to get right now. But right now, let's get straight into the team and straight into the kind of things you need to be thinking about when whipping up your little free hit recipe to make sure you produce the best bread possible, you know? So first, let's look at these words here and use our big dictionary energy to see what we're talking about and see what everybody else is talking about when they use these words. So first, differentials. Differentials are just built different, man, and refer to a player that is quite low owned in the game. And it does depend on the position, but usually a differential is about less than 10% ownership is pretty good. But the 1% boys are the ones you really want to be going for. Where the point of differentials are, if you have a player that is 1% owned, and he goes and gets all the points with hay, then only 1% of players get those points. So meaning, if you have one of these and they do absolute bits, you have a lot more gain than, let's say, Kane and he scores. As you know, every single geezer and their nan has Kane in their team right now. So some of these differentials are a very, very good idea to get onto that free hit, and a very sexy idea to maybe have a full team of them. Okay, maybe not that much, but maybe. Then safety picks. These are the types of players that are just, you know, the warm and friendly ones and provide you with a bit of a safety blanket to put over you. These mainly consist of the higher owned players, or the highly backed players for the week, you know, in the free hit, especially covering a lot of the players people are just getting in. But you could also use this to just cover either side of the fixture if you really think it's unpredictable and you don't know what way it's going to go. So no matter what, your jaw won't be spun that much. Then we have free hit strategies. There are a few different strategies to go for when using the free hit. Like, do you play it safe, the unseasoned, non-spicy game, and just choose the ones everyone's going to choose, no crazy boys in there? Or do you actually pick one side of the fixture in either of those games and go full balls out and back their players? Because if it actually paid off and you got it right, you could potentially have the most points out of anyone. Whoa! Or do you just ignore everyone else, ignore ownership, and just chuck in those random players that you think are actually going to do well this week, and just chuck in some fun potential ones as well? And you know what? The correct answer to that is actually there is no answer. Because no matter if one way looks a lot better, it could also work out the other way, you know? So it is actually better to just kind of cover all of those to make sure you're fully prepared in every way. And then finally, your one and only Bacon Boy's top tips for you in the free hit deal. Where this free hit is actually slightly different to other free hit teams from different seasons and different game weeks as well, as a lot of people actually use their free hit in the last big boy blank game week, and there are only 4 games going on in this one, where actually a lot of people will have a couple of players in almost all of these games here as well. So what I would say is, if you're on the free hit for this week and you're using it in this week, is you have to get in those big boy differentials in, and you should also try and heavily back the favourite teams in each of the fixtures, but also chuck in some other ones to cover either side, and also get some risky boys that not a lot of other people might want to get in, but on a free hit they could well do absolute bits and do amazing. But most importantly, just have a bit of fun with it, innit? Why not get in a Captain Lingard and a Joe Linton? Okay, maybe not that far, but it's a bit of fun, isn't it? As you know, in the free hit, you don't have to keep the players, so you can just chuck in some really wacky ones, and maybe they could pay off. Lovely stuff. So with all of that said, and you know what, it was actually quite a lot to say, wasn't it, apparently? Damn, I feel like I could make an FPL book out of that and sell it for real life money. No, surely no one would do that instead of just a free video, you know? Sorry, boys, the shade I'm casting is going over my face now. Alright, but okay, let's stop chatting shite, shall we, and get straight into the best ever free hit draft for this week, which actually looks like this. I feel like a magician when I do that. I'm like, whoa, Oh, I need to behave. What am I on about? So in this team, we've got the Spanish Neuer in goal, Sanchez, the 7-foot centre-back dunk the ball in, Stuart load lunge from regen Dallas, Aaron cross the ball well, Pollard to the points Aina, Jesse Lingardinho, best player, Gareth Golfer Bale, the Belgium Messi Trossard, Aubameyang, Obama who? Sir Harold Kane, and the walk-in protein shake Antonio. With also right here, a pretty damn good bench which you could replace any of the starting geezers for as well. But in this draft right here, we're actually covering everything I just mentioned a minute ago, where we got the differentials in here, we got a bit of spice with a bit of fun in here, but also we have some of the safer safety net picks as well. So if you go for something like this, it is quite damn hard to fail. So let's go through the fixtures one by one to show you why these lucky lads have been the ones that have been selected. Where the first game sees Fulham play Leeds. Now this one is actually, it's all up in the air. We don't know what's going to happen, right? With Fulham proper fighting relegation now and really pushing really hard for it, aren't they? They might even be pushing more than a pregnant woman right now. They're going for it. Respect to the pregnant women too as well, you know. But they do play against a Leeds team that, you know, really know how to score all of the exciting golassos and could well put a few in. So what is actually going to happen? But I myself actually think it's going to be quite a close game, with Fulham putting up some impressive defensive stats lately. Meanwhile, Bamford could be out for Leeds as well. So what I decided to do is chuck in the most attacking defenders for each team, which is actually what I like to do and what I like to suggest in a game that could be close and you don't really know what's going to happen. You don't know if it's going to be 10 goals in the game or no goals. As you know, the attacking defenders, even if they concede, they can get the golassos, but also they can get the clean sheet, or they could get both of them. Wowzee. But I would say if Bamford is back, I would probably chuck him in over Antonio because he is so highly owned. But even with that, with the cover of the differential Fulham defender in there, we could get all of the spicy points no matter what way it goes. But then the next game here is between Brighton and Newcastle. Now this one right here is definitely the most backed fixture out of any of them. And that is in fact Brighton, or more specifically, their defence. Where most people will actually be getting in a Brighton defender this week. And especially on a free hit, they're definitely doing that as well. So if you are on a free hit, I definitely think you should get in at least 2 Brighton defenders in there, or a defender and a goalkeeper like I've gone for. Just because if you do that, you can not only one-up the non-free hitters, but also some free hitters might only get 1 in, so you can one-up them as well. You know what? You could even one-up me and go triple defense. Ballsy. But then I also decided to add a very spicy and potentially very sexual differential in here, with a Leandro Trossard joining the team as well. As not only is the Brighton defence looking very good right now, their attack has actually been very active lately and very good as well. But they haven't quite been scoring the goals, but they're putting up the numbers that goals should surely happen soon. Where Trossard really has the ability to be really involved all the time and getting a few golassos in as well. Where right now he is only actually 1% owned and definitely not the priority for most. So if you get him in and he gets the goals, you could be on for an absolute winner chicken dinner all of the points. But also, you know, he still gets that 1 point for the clean sheet in there as well. Lovely stuff. But then the next game here is between West Ham and Arsenal. A West Ham team performing pretty damn well at home right now. No, actually, I think they are second in the league in terms of home results. Wow. But they do play against an Arsenal team just coming off the back of beating the Spursy. Now this one is probably actually one of the most unpredictable ones here, where you know it could really swing either way. Oh no, sorry, no swinging here. Gareth Bale isn't in this one yet. But what I decided to do in this draft is actually back the home team here, just because Cresswell is one of the most highest owned defenders in the entire game. Lingardinho is the best player in the entire world, and a lot of people are going to get him in this week. And then Antonio is up here because he can get on all the golassos as well. But Arsenal are actually just about the slight favourites here, and their assets are quite damn low owned all across the board. So I really don't think it's a bad idea at all to get in at least 1 or 2 in here, where I decided to recruit the main man, Aubameyang. Now Aubameyang might be one of the least owned non-free hitted players in this week, just because of his price really, and you know, it's quite a bit of a risk. But being the main striker in a team, who is also marked as a midfielder so gets more points, and is also on penalties for the team that are the slight favourites, for a team that a lot of people don't have players in, and is also a big boy differential as well. Now that is very spicy stuff there, and you've got to get on that. But I won't lie to you, I do be spitting facts when I say I'm actually not too confident on the Antonio pick here, and if you are more confident on an Arsenal pick, you could maybe switch him out and put a Tierney in instead. But having 2 of the most owned players from the home team here in West Ham, and then a big points potential low owned player from the other team, that could all work very well together and get you all of the points. And maybe, no matter what happens, you can get the points too. Whoa! But the final game this week is between the Aston Villans and the Spursy. Now Villa, a bit of an interesting one right now, aren't they? Playing very well this season, but starting to pick up a bit of injuries, and will they actually be able to keep it up for the rest of the season, you know? Isn't it mad that it's actually kind of towards the end of the season now, and it feels like it's only only like halfway through, like, okay. But then Spurs are a team right now that are sometimes completely turning on and getting all the golassos, but then sometimes turning completely back to the bottling Spursy that we all know. So what I've actually done here in this draft team is I've actually avoided the high-owned Villa clean sheet boysies and instead gone from the double Spursy attack. Now, the reason for this is we're highly backing Spursy and mainly Kane to get all the goals here, where I think he is also the best captain, so if you're going to captain him, surely you don't want a Villa defender, right? Yeah, probably not. But then again, with Son out, could it actually affect their attack, and can they actually score that many goals? Where maybe if you wanted to play it a bit safer, you could put a Martinez in goals just in case, because even if he concedes, you know, he can still get some of the saves. But maybe you can completely go the other way and actually pick up another spicy differential player, where maybe a Lucas Moura or Dele Alli could be teasing you as well. But I feel like a lot more people are going to be focusing on this game mainly to get the Kane in and Captain Kane, so I feel like the other games are actually slightly better for more spicy differentials. So that is it for the games, and the sexy free hit draft are done. With this team right here is back in a close Leeds-Fulham game, an easy Brighton win and clean sheet, goals to happen between the Hammers and Arsenal, but more favouring the West Hammers, and then Spursy scoring a few golassos against the Villa. We've also chucked in some proper spicy boys in there, with the likes of Trossard, a Fulham defender, and even Aubameyang, but also covering the high-owned players that could do well with the likes of Kane and Cresswell as well. But then finally, some other fun options in there, like a Bale and a Lingardinho, where, you know, you might not trust Bale to keep him long-term, so with a free hit, you can absolutely risk players like that and absolutely go for it. So we have a very well-rounded, a fully prepared team looking at everything to ensure you can absolutely smash it this week and get all of the points. Well, hey, so thanks for watching, and remember,
don't be a cheeky scrub. Subscribe to Nathan Bacon right now. Don't let your memes be dreams.